It's time for our phone interaction. All right, now let's go just right in. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Aviation, Ibrahim Kana, has clarified his comments on the National Carrier Project following public speculation. Now, in the Tuesday statement, he reaffirmed support for the minister's goals and addressed confusion over his earlier remarks on reviving Nigerian Air. But the question is, should the Nigerian Air project be revived? Now, we saw that in the previous administration, they spoke about reviving Nigerian Air. It was already going, and then there was a whole uncover of Ethiopian Air being involved, and it was suspended. Now, we saw Kiyamo coming out to say it was fraudulent, and there were lots of, downsides to it. Now, this administration is coming out to talk about reviving Nigerian Air again. So, we'd love to hear from you. What impact or what difference would this make to the lives of Nigerians? Would it give us a better public image as Nigeria? Having Nigerian Air boldly there. Would we see a high competition in the aviation sector, thereby seeing better prices when it comes to flight tickets? Would love to hear your thoughts. Do well to call in. The phone lines are open. You could call in, send us WhatsApp messages, and we're here to take all of them. Do you think Nigerian Air should be revived? What difference would it make to your life as a Nigerian? Let's hear your thoughts.
Interesting development once again coming from the Ministry of Aviation, talking about a national carrier. There had been so much debate. You recall that when this minister came on board, and I was talking about Barrister Festus Keyamo, this government suspended the whole project around Nigeria, and he called it, if I may borrow his word, a fraud. And basically that was what Nigerians saw. Some Ethiopian Air plane was repainted, flown into this country, celebrated, and flown out of this country, and that was the end. And at some point, the Ethiopian airline authority had to clarify that they did what they did on the instruction of the Nigerian government. I mean, he was the Minister of Aviation at the time, and he didn't want to run into trouble waters with the Nigerian government. But they had made an offer at some point to help us run a national carrier with a national flag or symbol, that didn't see the light of the day. But the question really is, we need to clearly define where we are headed. At one point, we keep arguing that government have no business in business. What is the concept of this Nigerian Air that we want to float? Is this something that is a priority to us as Nigerians? Is that what we should be bothering about simply because we want some metal plates to carry the emblem Nigerian Air? What is the model around the world? Just this morning, as I was preparing for this show, I stumbled on a data. The first 5 biggest airlines in the world are based in the US. The first one has about 1,500 and something airplanes. It's not government owned. The second one, United, has another 1,300 and something planes. It's not government. Southwest has about 800 and something planes. It is also not, in fact, the 5 of them are not, including Delta in that mix. And when it moved to planes from other places, we have the Rena Air from Ireland, shockingly, and we had Lufthansa from Germany, and 1 or 2 others making the free. There was no government-owned property. I'm not saying it doesn't. I mean, we have seen Singapore Air, we have seen Air Saudi Arabia, and all of that. So the question really is, at this material point in time where we are looking for money to put in different areas of our national life, is floating Nigerian Air again
important,
the priority for us? Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
We lost the call.
All right, please do well to call back again. We understand we lost that call. The numbers are displayed on your screen. If you try one and you're having challenge, you can as well call another. You can also send us WhatsApp messages, and we'll have them displayed and read. So the conversation about Nigerian Air is it's something that appears to be emotional. People, for maybe national pride, would want to see something that represents us. But as a business model, can we honestly say that we have learned from the mistake of the past? We practically grounded Nigerian Airways. Practically. No, we went into an arrangement with Virgin Nigeria, and nobody completely understand what happened in that deal, and they pulled off. And then we had another one, the Air Nigeria that was run by the Jimoh Ibrahim company. That also did not work. Then we got into the Ethiopian Air mess. We even went to London to do road shows. We voted billions of naira for this project. It never took off for the 8 years of the last administration. Is Nigeria Air something that Nigerians are willing to trust any government at all to get back into? And we will get your feelers when you call us this morning. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
We lost the call. It seems the network is playing tic-tac-toe with us this morning. Well, in regards to this, I stumbled on something that spoke about, said the government actually has a 5% stake in the Nigerian Air, the arrangement that was made in December 2018. The government was holding the 5% stake, private sectors owning the remaining 95%, and Ethiopian Air, as a strategic partner, was proposed to own at least 49%. But with the controversy that came out surrounding legal challenges and alleged fraud, that put a lot of hold to it. And Nigerians were questioning, like you said, is it necessary at this point in time? Why is Ethiopian Air fully involved? What is the arrangement with Ethiopian Air? How many percent stakes do they own? And you said the government we're struggling to sustain electricity, we're struggling to sustain the economy, there's petrol, there are so many things to play, and then you are now going into airline operations. When we should have private people who are actually kicking off. Yes, there's Airpeace there, who is, helping the lives of Nigerians amidst, the whole drama there. We also have other airlines, but let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Ade from London.
Good morning, Mr. Ade from London. Happy New Year.
Good morning, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Sunday, I'm in support of everything you have said. We don't need it now. That's not our problem now. Even in UK here, we don't have a government airline. You see, everything belongs to the Virgin Atlantic, British Airways, belongs to private organization. So we don't need it at all. And these are people that have the money to do it. It doesn't make sense. Because if Nigeria should do that now, that will be opportunity for corruption. So they can sell the franchise to any businessman who wants to fly Nigeria, then he can put Nigeria something on their plane. So that's the best thing to do, because we don't need it at all. We need other infrastructure that needs money, that needs government to invest. That's that's our problem now. So Nigeria government should drop that. Just sell the franchise. Like McDonald's said their franchise, Kentucky, all these sort of people. So they should do that, please. That's my advice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ade. God bless you too. He said something that is critical. He said, we can sell the franchise. Let other people do it because they even have the fund. And and in investment, we have what we call brown and green investment. So it is not everything that you desire to do as a government that you have to do by yourself. I think that's the central message. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Abdullah Indanusa.
Mr. Indanusa, where are you calling from, please?
From Niger State, Lavun local government.
Lavun local government. Please go ahead.
This is contribution.
We are struggling to hear you, Mr. Indanusa. Can you kindly step away from your TV set and speak to us? I'm sorry. It appears we lost that call. Please do well to call back. Let's hear what you have to share with us this morning. It's
when it comes to another thing with selling the franchise, the government, are they ready to create an enabling environment for this business to run?
Good morning. We'll take that response. Your name and where you're calling from?
Okay.
Oh my. Today we seem to be having lots of challenges with the call. You can do well to also send WhatsApp messages. We'll take them. I understand we have another caller. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? All right.
Good morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Lilian. My name is Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. Thank you for joining us this morning. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you. Well, I can add something on what Mr. John have said. He have concluded everything. Let us be sincere to ourselves. When Nigerian airline was in at the top, because I can remember when I was kid, I learned from my father that Nigerian airplane is higher than Saudi airplane in number. But what happened to the Nigerian airline today? People have people have made their life better at the expenses of Nigerian Airways. So we should not be fooling ourselves. Even though it is a nation prestige to own an airline, a company, but can you be maintain it? That's the question. Our problem is just a corruption. That's our number one problem. And nobody is challenging. You can pack Nigerian assets. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Nobody will ask you. And the only thing that you will do is you join the ruling party. By the time you join the ruling party, nobody will ask you. So this thing, we have a lot of challenges. We don't have potable drinking water in most of our areas in Nigeria today. Our roads are not good. Our security is challenging. So we have to fix all these things. Sure. Airline is for to me is not a number one priority. There is a lot of things. Sanitize our nation. Give us security where our farmers can pass and bring food to us. So we have a lot of challenges. They should reserve that one aside, please. That's my take.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shatima, from Maiduguri this morning. I think Nigerians, and including airline operators of Nigeria, have submitted different proposals with regards to this unending desire by the government to play in the airline space. We will dissect some of those propositions after this call. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? We lost the call.
Today is a bit stormy with regards to these calls. We'll continue to try. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone? Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set?
All right. I'm afraid we may have to end that. Please do well to call us back. Stay away from your TV set so we could have a direct conversation. The airline operators said there are best practices around the world to do these things because we have signed all kinds of bilateral air services agreement with other countries, which specifies some liberty to fly into their airspace, into their country whilst they fly in here. They are fully taking advantage of those agreements, and we don't seem to be doing, and which is one reason why the government keep pushing for this idea. So they've always said, can you designate some of your flyers as national carriers rather than a national airline? That looks more like it. So if you have an air services agreement with the United States, can you then ask Air Peace to take over the slots of the landing space that a Nigerian flyer should do into the United States instead? Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, but
we are struggling to hear your voice. Can you please take that introduction again?
There no one supposed to be. People are stopped in the street. No road, no security, no light. So those are the things that Nigeria government need to focus on. I put those things in under. They should do that. I forget about airline for now. I give it out to Twitter.
Thank you very much. I wish we got your name correctly and your location. We struggled with those parts of the contribution. And so the point we're making is why we cannot completely throw away the argument about having a national carrier. It doesn't have to be by the government. Some other arguments on the ground have been that There are airlines that you seize from debtors that are being managed by ANCON, which is basically government. There's ARIC, there's Aero. So the question is, what have you even done in managing those ones? If you pull the resources of these two airlines together, you can form a sort of carrier with it. But they themselves have struggled in management. They have struggled, to even compete with the other private players in the space. And we see what private players have done. They may not be huge in size, but they've managed to keep the functionality of our air services industry. And so that is what people are thinking, and maybe what the government should think about as well. Good morning. We have another caller. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling from? Please, can you turn down?
My name is Lilian, calling from National State.
It's good to have you. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set or move far away from it and talk to us through your phone? I can hear you. Kindly turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. Can you hear me now?
All right, go ahead with your thoughts.
My name is Lilian, calling you from National State.
All right, go ahead.
The problem with our country these days, our leaders don't want to focus on the point that is really bothering us in this nation. Number one, issue of outbreak, unemployment, and electricity. If our leaders focus on those aspects, I believe the problem of this country will be stepped down. So all those things they leave it behind and they focus on what they root money. And one thing again, they say they are fighting corruption. And I didn't see anything like that. Once you invest money, once you speak to other party which is the ruling party, automatically the matter is done. Nobody will say anything about it again. So that is the nature that's working corruption, especially this administration. In fact, I've seen nothing they are doing in this nation. People are suffering, not good farm, and where we are getting the clubs. In fact, our leaders should sit down and think very well about this nation. If not, even Ghana, time is coming. Ghana will be better than Nigeria, and which is very bad. In fact, if you say you talk of what is happening in this our nation, it will make person get angry.
Thank you very much.
Should think of those three areas.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. We struggled through that. I'm just beginning to think, why you were talking. I wonder why somebody calls us from abroad and the trunk is so clear. And Nasarawa to Abuja here, we are struggling to hear people. Kaduna to Abuja, we are struggling to hear people. It's difficult to fathom how this trunk, really functions. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Abaseko. I'm calling from Gombe State.
Mr. Abaseko, thank you very much. Can you kindly raise your voice a bit so that...
Okay, Abaseko, I'm calling from Gombe State.
Yes, we got your name correctly. It was I just needed you to be a bit audible. Please go ahead and share your perspective.
Sincerely speaking, this is a very welcome topic. National Carrier Project. Why must we indulge in all this reviving the national carrier? There is no need. All we need to revive are institutions that are dead. We should go back to all the institutions that needs to be revived. Dangote is there to rebrand our maybe buy planes and rebrand them as he has done in the refinery. We should not dabble into all this. These are not issues. But they make it to be an issue because they want to eat money, corruption. Thank you. God bless you this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Basia Kong. I think he said something very germane, and that is the language that the airline operators of Nigerians are saying. If you make the environment conducive, the enabling environment, there are private business owners that will want to delve in. Today, if you buy the Dangote crude, the man sitting in Texas or in India or in China may not necessarily recall the name Dangote, but he knows that crude oil or that petroleum product is coming from Nigeria. That's what's important, and that's the point that he has made. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Good morning.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Abubakar Omar. I'm calling from Kaduna.
Good morning, Abubakar. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, about airline thing. I think the government should just show our business people how to, if they don't know, they should show their business people how to handle this thing properly. Because we know we have private airlines in this country now. When we were growing up, I knew Nigerian Airways very well because I flew into, so many times within the country, and I knew how it was operating. Sometimes when you go to the airport, you see some big shots coming, and I really didn't know whether they used to pay or they would just go in and fly away. But right now, I like to suggest to the government, if they are listening, please let the private sector, let them help the private sector to set up proper airlines. We have them in this country. Though what they are doing is a bit epileptic, sometimes so many cancellations. When you want to travel, you encounter lots of problems. Even within the country, you need to talk of those that are able to fly out of the country to other countries. When you go to other countries, you see how they do their own operation. And then I don't know why we have people that travel a lot. They go out to see what is happening, and they have money that they can, put into this kind of business. But I don't know whether they are not getting the correct encouragement from the authorities. Please let the government hands off from this question of reviving airlines. Let private sector take over, and then let the government continue to help them in the way they can achieve what people will be happy about. Thank you so much, and I'm glad to be able to.
Thank you very much. We are even more happy that you were able to talk to us. We have seen a lot of attempts that have not gone through, which clearly signifies that a lot of people are interested in this topic, but somehow they face challenges because of the fidelity of the trunk. But thank you very much for your insight. And I like the fact that you recall what Nigerian Airways used to be. I think the story of how Nigerian Airways died is properly documented in the annals of our history.
But the thing that caught my attention,
mismanagement and all.
The thing that caught my attention is we keep making reference to Nigerian Airways and what it used to be. And it feels like the government is still living in that, thinking they can still handle that. Things have changed. The population has increased. The country, globally, the world is not what it used to be before. Inflation has taken place. Cost of running business is different. The government have their hands full. There are a lot of things to do now. So I want to believe they are still living on that past glory, that they could still be able to handle it, and they've not woken up to smell the coffee just yet.
Yeah. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. My name is Mohammed from Zaria.
Good morning, Mr. Mohammed from Zaria. How is Zaria this morning? Is it cold, hazy?
Yeah, at least the cold is a little bit.
Okay.
Not much.
Oh, okay then. Please go ahead.
Yeah, national career is okay, but it will not last. If it is in Nigeria, with the past experience, it will not last. I agree with the last caller, a previous one. The only thing we need to do in this country in any field, make a level field for operators to operate. But once if it comes to government, it will not last. Look at the aeroplane. It's properly tagged Nigerian air, whatever. Two things will kill it. Number one, corruption. Number two, sentiment. It will not last. Let government put a level environment for the operators to operate and let them regulate. Let them throw the burden on operators to operate. If to say Nigerians are waiting for Nigerian air, for how many years? We will have not anything in our airports. Go to the airport, you see different operators. Motivate them. Make a good operating environment for them. Just watch them and regulate them. Things will go. But if it's going back to government hands, I'm telling you, corruption and sentiment will kill it. It will die natural death. Thank you very much.
It's like when your wife wants to get a favor from you, she chooses the time, she chooses the voice, she chooses the atmosphere, the ambience to deliver that message for maximum effect. That's the type that you have done this morning. You've pointed out clearly, sentiments, corruption are two reasons why Nigerian Airways, in the way the government is thinking about it, may not see the light of the day. Then we'll begin to see arguments about how it is only people from Zaria that are employed as pilots. Why don't we have somebody from Ikotekpene or somebody? We begin to see how it's amazing.
It's amazing how we preach one Nigeria. But
in this country, the examples abound between government-run institutions and private-run institutions. The private universities today are places you would rather send your kids to get education. The fees are out of this world.
Standard.
But value is something you can't completely throw away. And down to primary education. I went to the school, the primary school I went to, I didn't even recognize. It feels like a refuse dump. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Mr. Sambo from Damatri, Yobe State.
Good morning, Mr. Samuel.
Good morning, Mr. Sambo. Please put off the volume of your TV set. We are getting an echo.
Okay. About the issue of the air being revived or not, the problem we are having as we are discussing the issue is because of the corruption. But we cannot be just like that and leave things go like this, that we cannot do it. We better do it and make some laws that will govern the issue, and also the airline can be revived and continue with the journey. If last time there is some mistakes, then we learn from that mistakes. And at least we will not be just Nigerians to be, Nigerian corruption. We continue saying corruption, and we don't have a good leaders to continue with this thing. It's embarrassing. You come to the airport, all the airlines are private. And some of them, our brothers and sons and other things that are managing it. Are they different with those in the government, that civil servants, or those and the aviation and other things? They are not different. The only thing is that Nigeria make everything that is for government like for free. You can use it. But if you go through the laws, there is consequences of those that doing something that is wrong or is not governed by the rules and other things. So we better do it and bring law and review the law. And also now you have ICPC, you have EFCC and other things. Get some agencies or train some people to take care of particularly that issue, so that at least we can go forward. But it's embarrassing. All these things you say we cannot manage it, we cannot manage it. Other products, we cannot manage it. We cannot manage it, let's say, what they are calling it, the oil sector. like the refineries and other things. When you come to airline, the same thing. When you buy buses at the state or federal government to manage the masses, it's the same thing. You cannot manage it. Why are we going? So please, this issue is going to those authorities that are concerned. Let them do it. Let them review the law and see how we can go forward. But it's embarrassing. We cannot do this. We cannot do this. And we are saying Nigeria giant of Africa for where?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sambo from Damaturu. And I like your charge, which is the fact that we can do it. And I think the question really is, what model should we deploy? Should we deploy the models that have failed in every sector, Nigerian shipping line, public schools, public hospitals, public roads, or should we allow Nigerians who mean business, who would not joke with their private capital, take advantage of this, pay taxes and royalty to us as a country, but take responsibility for the failure or success of this business? And I think that is where the argument lies. There's a reason why we should do it, but the question really is, how should we do it? Thank you very much, Nigerians from every part of this country, for your contributions this morning, and especially those who have tried without success to be part of this conversation. We feel your pain, and we hope that tomorrow would provide another opportunity to contribute to this debate.